Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about another scenario of joins where we can use more than two tables. Okay, so far we have discussed various types of join, but there we are using only two tables in order to understand the concept, right? But same thing, same kind of logic, or you can say same kind of query you can utilize with multiple table as well, because the meaning of join is uh, like join we can use whenever there is a requirement to merge more than uh, one table. It could be one two three. Okay, so how to use this? Let's say for three tables, we have three table and we want to use join. So how we can use this? So to explain this, what I will do, firstly I will show you some tables that we are going to use in order to show the demo for the join with three tables, and then we'll see the data in it, the data which I have already stored, and later we will see the query to understand the flow, like how the query is working, and then we will see, at last we will see how we can use the same inside SQL rpgle program. Okay, so let's quickly go to the session B. Here I will show you the query, so just focus on the no, scratchpad here. So this is our first table which we are going to use. In first table, what we are doing, we are creating the, this is the query which I have already executed and I have also stored some data in it, right? So if you're not aware of basic thing like how to create table, how to insert data in it, then you can follow the entire SQL series from the playlist, and then you will find like how we can do this. But here we are just going to discuss about the concept related to joins. Okay, so just focus on the first table. Here we are creating the table with name players, and we have player ID, player name, and I just made the player ID as a primary key. Okay, so this is the first table where we will store the player ID and player name. Then we have second table, name ODI record, where we are going to store the player ID, best ODI score, and ODI centuries. So if you focus here, you will see that yes, player ID is a column which is common in both the tables. Okay, and for applying join, we need one common column, right? So let's move the third table. In third table, we have created the table with name matches, where we have three column, player ID, match date, and match venue. Okay, so this is the third table. So we have total three tables. In first table we are going to store the player ID and player name. In second table we are going to store the player ID with their best ODI score and ODI centuries. In third table we are going to store the player ID, match date, and match venue. Okay, so these are the three tables. Now I will show you the data in it, and then we'll see the query where we are using three table in order to fetch the record with the help of join. Okay, so let me run the first query. The first query is players. So here what we are doing, we are writing select star from Sharmit1, which is my library name, slash players, and players is my table name. So if I hit enter, you will see there are some random data I have already stored, like player ID, player name. Okay, now hit enter. Similarly, we will look into the another table data, which is ODI record. So just write ODI record. Here we have player ID, best ODI score, and ODI centuries. So this is also a data. And third table is for the matches. So if I write here matches, it will show all the detail related to matches. So just focus here. Only ID 18 and ID 10 is the player who have record in all three tables. Okay, and we want to fetch all the data, all the record which have something in common. You can say player ID. Overall we want data for all the player ID whose data is available in all three tables, and that we want to show during a live cricket match on the screen. Okay, so let's see, like just focus on this 18 and 10. This player is available in all the files, like here you can see 18 is available, similarly 10 have available, and if you check the players table, then there also we have 18 and we have 10. Okay, So it means these data should be populated whenever we are applying join, and I'm just applying the simple inner join. You can customize it as per your requirement, but for now I am just printing the simple data with simple inner join. So let me copy the query here. So this is the syntax how we can use the join with three tables. So just simply write select, although you can write in the same line, but in order to show everything clearly I just use this kind of indentation. So just write select players dot player id, as I'm not using any alias name, so I'm just referring it the field directly with their table name. So players dot player id, but if I am using p1 here, then you can use p1 dot as a prefix. So this player id is coming from players table. Similarly, player name is coming from player table. Then we have best ODI score, which is coming from ODI record table, ODI centuries, and these two fields are coming from matches table, match date, match venue. From this is my first table players joining with ODI record on which field I am applying it, on player ID from the players table and player ID from the ODI record. Okay, on ODI record dot player ID. So here what we are doing, we are applying join between players table and ODI record table on the basis of player ID column. Okay. Now once this data is fetched, that data will get joined with another table which is matches on the basis of players.player id and matches.player id. So overall player id is something which is common in all three files, and we are applying the simple inner join, because if we are not specifying any type of join here, so by default it take it as a simple inner join. Okay, you can also mention here inner join, that is also fine, but by default it is already taking it as a, it is also already considering it as a simple inner join. Okay, so once I hit enter on this query, it will pick data from all three files, but only for those record who matched. Okay, whatever the data matched. So here you can see player ID 18, player name Virat. Then if I press shift F8, best ODI score is here, ODI century is here. Similarly, match date and match venue is also there. Okay, so and here you can see it is printing all the required data from all three files. So this is the way through which we can apply the joins on more than two table as well. So as much as table we have, we can apply joins in the same format. Now question is how we can use the same inside a sqlrpgle program. So to use it inside a sqlrpgle program, you can simply write program like write command work member pdm. I will show you the example. Here what we are doing, first of all we have declared word constant, which is sql state underscore valid with 5 times zeros, and this constant we will use to check whether the query is executed properly or not, because whenever we execute any SQL query inside program, it returns some SQL status, and then we match that SQL status with SQL state underscore valid. If it equals with this means 5 times 0, then it means the query is executed properly. But if it does not match, then there is something wrong with the query, and we have to look into that, right? Afterwards, I have declared one data structure, because we are going to fetch multiple columns from multiple tables. So better to go with data structures. Just write CLDS, ODIDS, and here I have put all the required fields in as a subfields like player ID, player name, ODI score, ODI centuries, match date, match venue. So instead of declaring it separate as a separate variable, I am declaring it as a data structure, so that at the time of retrieving the data from the query, we can directly pass data structure as a host variable, or you can say as a host data structure. Okay, then we are setting the commitment option to star none, and here we are using the we are declaring the cursor. So to declare the cursor, we need to write exec sql declare get ODI records scroll cursor for select, and then we are using the same query. So it is always recommended to verify the query. So I'm copying it in order to show you whether it is executing properly or not. So let me paste it here and just remove the semicolon. So it is giving the required output, and this is what we are looking for. It means the query is okay. So now we are good to declare this cursor. Declare get ODI record, which is my cursor name, and type is scrollable cursor for this query. After cursor is declared, we will open it. So here I'm executing the SQL in order to open the cursor get ODI records. Then we are fetching the data from cursor. So to fetch the data, we are running one loop, do while SQL state is equal to SQL state underscore valid, and first time it will find SQL state okay means valid because we just executed this open get ODI record, so it will return status as 0. So first time it will enter in this loop, then it will check for the SQL status. Sorry, not for the SQL, then it will fetch the data from the cursor. So here I'm executing SQL to fetch the next from get ODI records into host data structure ODI DS. After that, we are checking for the SQL state. If SQL state is equal to 2000, that means the file is ended and there is no record available in file to read. So I just printed this message end of file and then simply leaving it. In else if condition, I'm checking for the SQL state. If SQL state is equal to SQL state underscore valid, then it means it is there is something wrong with the query. So we are just printing the error message error encountered and then simply leaving the loop. But if everything is okay, then it will go inside the else block, and here it will print all the fields which we have retrieved from the query. So this is coming from the data structure. Although we are not using the qualified data structure, but still we can print the subfields directly. So here I am printing it. Okay, then endif undo, and below to this we are executing the SQL close get ODI records star inlar equals to star on. So let's quickly compile this program and call it. So firstly it is printing for the first player all the records, match of date, stadium. Then for second player, okay, so this is how we can, and then at last it print the end of file. It means now there is no record available in the file. So this thing we have handled with the help of SQL state 2000. You can also declare constant for this 2000 as well, like SQL state underscore end of file, something like that you can create. Okay, but the overall purpose of this session is to explain you how we can utilize the joins with 3 table inside sqlrpgle program and in a normal strSQL process. Although like we are just executing the same query, but the way how we are declaring the host variable, how we are retrieving the data, how we are handling the SQL state, this is what we are discussing here. So yeah, that's all for this session. I hope it is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.